UK vs USA school swap is genuinely brutal.
Nice to meet you. This is my wife, Stephanie.
I'll never live anywhere I can't pee in my own front yard.
You have to have a woman. It's very important. It's imperative.
No mother should have to feel scared that her child can't leave the house without losing their life.
I don't really want to leave, Mom.
My bucket list is animals I want to kill.
Yeah. Could I get over?
My number?
Yeah, could I?
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Imagine trading your entire life right now in the UK and moving to Arkansas, America, which is a rural town where everyone has about 7 guns in their house. Their houses are full of weapons, and every single night they have to hunt for their tea, and they also pray before every single class in school. Well, that's exactly what happened in Channel 4's new 3-part docuseries, UK vs USA School Swap. This is a real-life social experiment where British teens from South London move to America and American teens move to South London for 3 weeks. The students live with each other's families and they need to hang out with each other's friendship groups and go to all their lessons. It's absolutely mental. And the drama that this concept brings is truly unmatched and also very deep at times. There's obviously a lot of cultural differences between these people and this causes so much tension. And later on in this video, it actually gets really dangerous where some of the students are actually like in a really bad situation. In this video, we're going to break down all 3 episodes, including all of the heartwarming moments, the shocking moments, the jaw-dropping moments from this limited series that's just been released. And by the end of this video, we're going to see if the kids prefer living in the UK or the USA, so we can finally settle the old age question, which country is better? Let's get into it. But before we get into the episode, we do have a brand partnership for this video. Come on! Now, who would like some free beers? I know that I would. Father's Day is fast approaching and the lovely people at Beer 52 are offering you the opportunity to get 10 free beers for the big day. Or even if you don't celebrate Father's Day, just get them for yourself, man. If you go to www.beer52.com and just cover the $4.95 postage, then you will receive 10 unique beers straight to your door. They're giving them away. Come on, you can't pass up on this opportunity. Don't ever say that I don't treat you ever again, okay? Now, you know that I don't do many brand deals on this channel, but I have worked with Beer 52 before, and I got a lot of messages off you guys saying that you ordered it and you really appreciated it because you really liked the products. So that's why I've decided to work with them again, because I know that they're good. This month, Beer 52 are offering a spectacular range of summer beverages as they're working within Italy. Your free case will include this IPA from Canadaguera, fresh and smooth with an exciting hop profile and clean finish. This could be the ultimate summer beer. And you know what? I'm going to do a taste test on camera, right? Just here, look, I'm opening it. Oh, what a sound, man. Oh, mate, that is banging. I'm not even like lying. That is absolutely banging. Also included is a fun adaptation of the classic Pilsner style from Bira Baladin and a soft, clean and malty Helles lager from Vitra Beer. And if you don't like dark beer, there's also a light beer case, which is probably the one that I would choose. I just prefer that in general. They also include a Vermont magazine where you can like learn about the beers. So if like you can just properly like engross yourself into it, it can become like a new obsession. And you also get a couple of snacks in there, which I often chomp on when I'm working. Chomp, is that the word I'd use? And let's say you're totally unsatisfied with the product, that's completely fine because you can cancel it at any time or pause it if you just want to take a break. So that is www.beer52.com to claim your free case of 10 award-winning beers right now. That's beer52.com/calm. You've got this. Now let's get into the video. Now the first episode kicks off with like a mini trailer for what's to come in this limited series. And honestly, it kind of teases that the children are in danger for even kind of being in this experiment in the first place.
I walked past 2 boys. They said, a slur.
We're not at home. I feel that we have to be careful.
Well, was this really a good idea to come here? Surely if you feel like you're in danger, you just leave straight away, sir. Now, we are going to get the context to that entire situation later in this video, but genuinely, it's wild. To kind of set the scene of what the students already know about the country they're going to be travelling to, they do like a series of interviews with them.
I've heard you guys like beans and toast.
Is that all you know about us, that we like beans on toast? Like, is that our legacy on the world, that we eat beans on toast? Really? Has nobody done anything apart from eat beans on toast in this country that has captured the USA's minds? We had a guy run the entire length of Africa. What about that? No, all I know about them is they like baked beans on fucking toast. Well, that's terrible. That's depressing. The show then lets us know that the UK school taking part in this experiment is based in South London and is very multicultural. I did wonder why they highlighted that it was multicultural, but it's because the American school is like an American school in the middle of nowhere, which just has white people in it. So I think this is why they're making a highlight of it. So this can only end positively. Nothing can go wrong here. One thing that is hilarious is when they're doing a preview of the two schools, in the South London one, they just show the kids having fun, yet in the American one, they show like a young child shooting a gun. Like, if that's them describing what the schools are like, I'm in fear for the UK students' lives here. One of the first students we get to know in this docuseries is Dijon, and he lives in the UK with his mother. He says that going to school in South London is very unsafe, and he often feels like he has to look over his shoulder all the time.
You got people in South London that are actually like nice, but then also you got those people in South London that are just rude.
I mean, that is also my experience of South London. Like, I lived in South London for 2 years, so I feel like I've got like a good kind of gauge on what it's like. I lived in a place called Woolwich, and there was so many lovely people there, but I always remember this one time when I was standing outside of Greg's, of course, where else would I be? And this guy was just dragging a machete across the floor in the town centre, and nobody was looking at him. It was like so British. Do you know when someone's like doing something really weird and everyone just acts as if they're not even there? Is that just a British thing? Do Americans do that watching? He was literally dragging it like this, and people were like, yeah, no, I can't see him. I don't know what. What's that noise? That scraping noise? Oh, I don't know. Must be a builder, love. Must be a builder. I was freaking out because I still had like 3 minutes left for like my sausage rolls to come out the oven, so I was trying to time it right. Mad place though. I did enjoy living there. That was one of the more exciting experiences. Even the head of year of this school, who will be travelling to America with the UK students, says that it'll do the students good to like get out of the area because it's not very safe. This is not my words, by the way, just in case anyone from South London like travels up to Newcastle and tries to attack us. These are not my words. But it must be a pretty unsafe area where this school is situated if going to America's a safer option, especially where they're going in America. Another lad travelling to America with Dijon is his friend Jude, who also goes to the same school. His mother's really worried about him going to America because he doesn't deal with change well. However, I feel like going to America might be like a little holiday for Jude because he shares his own bedroom with 2 of his siblings, and they all sleep on bunk beds, and he says that he hates it.
I really do wish I had my own room because, don't tell anyone this, but like, my brothers do snore quite a lot.
I mean, you have just said it to 1.5 million people on YouTube, Jude. So I feel like your brothers might find out about this. Also, you're on the telly, right? So if anyone's going to know that you're on the telly, probably your brothers are going to be the first people to hear about it. They're going to snore extra loud when you get home, son. However, I am a little bit worried about some of the UK students going over to America because when we get a little preview of the school in America, which is Arkansas Mina, there is a lot of Confederate flags outside, and I just don't know what the vibe of this school is going to be like at this point. The fact there's only 5,000 people that live in this town as well, like they're going to know that a camera crew are coming with people that are not from this area. So I just hope that Channel 4 have done like their full safety checks because these students, you know, I just don't want them to be in any danger at all. They could have easily have put them in a safer area, but I guess for like the whole, like, you know, concept of the show, Channel 4 thought it would be more interesting to put them here. We do learn a little bit more about Mina, the place that all the UK students will be going to.
It's very secluded. We're an hour and a half away from everything.
Wait, you're an hour and a half away from everything? What happens if we need to escape? Where do we go? We can't go anywhere. You're going to catch us if we try to run away. What do you mean an hour and a half away? I love that I'm saying us as if I'm taking part in this. Let me know if you would take part in this if you were in year 11. Like, would you say yes to doing this experiment?
Yeah, we're not very diverse. We have a church on every other corner.
Just a bunch of hillbillies.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is just, I can't imagine like what it would be like to put quote unquote hillbillies in South London. I feel like either way it's going to be a huge culture shock here. Like imagine going into a Morley's and there's just someone there with a cowboy hat. I just can't imagine them two things coexisting. We then get to know our first American student that will be going to the UK. He's called Waylon. He's never left America in his entire life. He's never even left his hometown. He's never been on on a plane. He hunts every single night for his tea. He catches like possums, he kills snakes. And I believe he also works at like a bull riding arena. Like he's just so, when I think of just like Southern America, he just encapsulates it.
The girls are bull riding, I pretty much hold on with one hand and you just stay on for 8 seconds.
I know like American people watching this will be like, oh yeah, this is just what I do on a Saturday night. But this is just such like a culture shock for like people in the UK. Like this just doesn't happen over here. This is just wild. It's so interesting that we speak the same language, but we're so different. Like everybody here has got a cowboy hat on. Like if one person wore a cowboy hat in the UK, people would stare. It's wild. I love it. The principal of this school in America says that this town is a lot less developed than other towns in America.
Most people in the world, when they hear Arkansas, literally as late as the 70s, people would look to see if you were wearing shoes.
Right. Well, great start. Let's get the UK kids over here, right? They'll be fine. Don't worry about them. There's a camera crew with them. They'll keep them safe. Nothing can go wrong. What do you mean? They would look at you and be surprised if you're wearing shoes. Can you imagine turning up to here with a pair of Air Forces on? They're going to be gone by the second you get off the plane, man. When we're trying to escape, it's going to turn an hour and a half into 3 hours with no shoes on. We then meet Jayla, who is also transferring from America to the UK, and she says it's really hard living in this town where she's born.
For me to be biracial in this school, it's difficult. I wear a bracelet that's like Black Lives Matter or whatever. People try to cut it off.
Well, yeah, just send again, they'll be fine, man, the UK kids, just send them in. Right, I know they're cutting the Black Lives Matter bracelets off, but it's fine, just send them there. What are we doing here? We're sending children into danger. Just a note on Jayla as well. Like, when she's speaking, she seems just so much older than what she is. Like, she's so smart for her age. And I don't mean that in, like, a condescending way. Like, the way she's able to kind of talk about her negative experiences of going to this school. She's just so mature and, like, so emotionally intelligent the way she kind of tells it. After we meet a couple more of the students that will be transferring, all of the kids then say goodbye to their parents. As for the next 3 weeks, they're going to have a new life.
Look out, UK. The Bearcats are coming your way.
Send them back. Send them back. It's okay. Come and stop them at the border. Be like, sorry, we saw the footage, you're not coming in. The UK will never be the same again. After the kids leave, the parents are then asked the question, like, why have you let them go on this experiment? Like, what do you want them to get out of it? And it does beg an interesting question. Like, if I was a parent, would I allow my child to, like, go to the other side of the world and take part in something like this for 3 weeks when I'm not there? I'm unsure if I would, but I guess, you know, they're 16 and it would be a great, like, experience. It's almost like traveling, but it's getting paid for you in a way. I think I would be a lot more worried if I was the UK parents than I would the US ones, because I feel like the US ones are getting put in a lot less danger than what the UK kids are. However, one American that I do feel like is going to struggle in London is Waylon, you know, the guy that like hunts every night for his tea. Like, obviously I said he's never been on a plane before, but he's not even been in like a shopping mall before, only once, and he was on the ground floor. Like, the first time he sees an escalator, it's almost like he's at Universal Studios.
Don't fall.
Yes,
He's fancy now.
This is so funny. His mate's joking that Waylon's like kind of made it now because he's went on an escalator. This is so cute. Oh, you've made it now. You're not going to text him. I'm not going to get a text back now, am I not? Wow, he doesn't take the stairs anymore. He's changed. That's not our Waylon. That's someone else, man. How secluded is this town where Waylon is from? Him going up that escalator was like he was going up the stairs to heaven. Is there stairs to heaven, by the way? I don't know. I've never been. Anyone that has been and then came back, can you just let me know? All of the students then arrive in both the UK and the US to start the next 3 weeks. And instantly, Jude is worried.
Oh wow, they have an electric fence. I wonder why they have an electric fence.
Yeah, first red flag. Can't lie, that isn't... Like, okay, like a motorised fence, also, but electric fence, that's like, you know, if you touch it, you know, good night. Then you'll see the stairs to heaven. Instantly, alarm bells are going to go off here. It's like, what are you trying to keep out of here?
My house actually looks nice. Oh, it is.
What's he saying?
It's wild how much bigger American houses are. Like, that's one thing that the UK students are going to benefit from. The people that they're staying with just have such huge houses, whereas in the UK, like, a house like that would be millions of pounds. Like, in the UK, Jude shares with 2 of his siblings in the same room. Here, he's got his own room and he nearly breaks down in tears.
No.
We thought you'd be hungry, so we got you some snacks.
Oh my God, they've even got him a snack hamper. Why is this the cutest thing ever? This couple are straight out of like an American reality TV show. This is incredible. A snack hamper? I want them to be my parents, man. What do you mean? Like, this couple are really cute. They even made a welcome sign for him.
Ah, very tired.
Come give us a hug.
Like, the fact they've sat down and like really, you know, handmade that, it's like really nice just to make him feel, you know, he's going to obviously feel really nervous. They're just trying to kind of soften the blow of you know, the awkward interaction initially. I'm just happy that Jude is staying with nice people. We then switch over to the UK and meet Sailor for the first time. She's going to be staying with JLR, and she says that her parents are really, really religious. I think the reason they really highlight that they're really religious is because Sailor and JLR are staying with a lesbian couple, and apparently in Sailor's hometown, like, lesbian couples just aren't a thing.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad that that's the way it worked out.
The show is that's like they've stayed on her face for an extra couple of seconds there to kind of show that she's being awkward. She's being really nice. They're trying to catch her out there. I feel like Sailor's actually really nice. Waylon then meets the family he's going to be spending the next 3 weeks with.
I mean, I catch snakes, or if they're by my house, I kill them.
All right.
Did you see the dad's face there? Yeah, I like snakes, but you know, if they're too close to us, I'll just kill it. It's like, all right. All right, lovely to meet you, Waylon. Right, you seem like a cracking chap, you do. Don't show him the guinea pigs. Imagine you're the child of this family. You're going to be like, can you just not leave him alone with the snake, please? I really don't trust him. When they're having their first conversation, getting to know each other, it gets really awkward. As Waylon is talking about how he hunts raccoons, but he shortens the word, and obviously, like, that's a bad word to say.
The first coon we've eaten in a long time.
So we had to say that we understand what he was saying, but yeah, couldn't use that word.
Like, obviously the context that he was talking, he wasn't like meaning it like that, but you know, you just say that word, especially in the school he's going to go to, and that's going to, you know, that impacts a lot of people. They then explain this to him and he like totally understands, and he obviously said he didn't mean it in that context. He was talking about raccoons. But people like Waylon, like, coming into this process and just learning these things is only going to make him like a more well-rounded person. Back in America, Dijon then meets the family he's going to be staying with, and I feel like his first meeting is a lot more awkward than what Jude's was.
I'm Justin. Nice to meet you. This is my wife, Stephanie. This is our son, Wyatt.
Nice to meet you.
Can you imagine how nervous you would be, though? Like, for anybody, this would just be such a weird experience. Like, nobody's with you. Not a single person. Like, yeah, when you go to school, you can meet back up with the other English kids, but you're staying in this house with this family in the middle of nowhere alone. I can't imagine how nervous these people must be. Especially, like, when the camera crew leave and you really, really are alone and you're no longer on, like, a camera, so the camera can't even, like, protect you if you needed it. Genuinely, these people are so brave to take part in this experiment. I'm not saying that the people they're staying with are evil people, by the way. It's just, so intense. The family Dijon is staying with is Waylon's mum and dad, and the way they've tried to really kind of make Dijon feel comfortable while he's here is so funny.
Go behind each door, make sure there wasn't a gun back there. All the crossbow bolts and the arrows for the bows. Other than that, didn't really do a whole lot.
They're acting as if they've just picked up a few dog toys, you know, just kind of picked up some crumbs that were on the floor. What? Guns behind every door? Crossbow arrows? Not much though, haven't done much. I would say that's much. Just personally. Can you imagine walking into that house? You'd be like, oh my good lord. What? I would just kind of admit that I was gonna die here. Again, Americans watching, you're probably like you're overreacting so much, but we just don't have any of this over here. I once had a BB gun that got took off me, right? Like, that's I was seen as like a criminal for that. People like, whoa, mate, you're a little bit off the rails here. Do you not need to go to some sort of unit or something? Dijon is obviously going to be staying in Waylon's room, and it's just a little bit mental.
If you brought a fishing pole, you'll have a place to put that. So,
bro, look at all the knife things in his stomach. Definitely when he brings his girlfriend back to his house for the first time, he's like, you see all them knife marks? Do you know who did that? Do you know? Just saying, you're with a bit of a wild cat. Sean's like, what is going on here?
That's pretty much our little house. It's not a lot, but we like it.
I mean, it's definitely unique. You know, just having like a cross on the American flag and, just a lot of antlers going around. It's very Wayland. That's what I will say. I wonder what was kept in here that is now empty. I honestly, I've got no idea. Definitely not something that would end a life. Jokes aside, I do actually feel really bad for Dijon because he seems a little bit upset now. And I know a lot of people might be like, oh, like, why are you crying? Nothing's actually happened yet. But this must be so overwhelming, especially now it's really setting in. Like, oh, I've got my room. This is where I'm staying for 3 weeks. I really am alone with these people. That would be just really, really emotional. And he might even be feeling a little bit of regret at this point. Like, he might just want to go home. Hopefully, like, as we get into this kind of series, he does find it more comfortable. One thing I will say, though, is the parents are really good and they're really, like, emotionally available for him. They're not kind of like the ones you see on like Wife Swap where they're just kind of mean to the kids sometimes. They're really trying to help him feel more comfortable here because obviously they're just total different people to him.
Just give him all the tools that he needs to thrive and all the encouraging words and help that we can give him.
Oh, that's so sweet. The UK students then have their first day at the American school, and straight away it just seems like a stereotypical American school you would see on like a chick flick back in the day.
We say spirit, you say God and spirit. Got it.
Like, you just, like, wouldn't get lasses in the UK to do this. Like, a lot of lasses in the UK, a lot of lads in the UK just try and bring a sick note in for PE so they don't have to take part. In America, they're like, yeah, man, fucking love this shit. I could do this shit all day, man. I was born to do this shit. That was a great American accent, wasn't it? I've been practicing it in the mirror. Hopefully you can tell. The staff and the students of this school are just so proud of it. Like, there's one shot where the principal has showed all the trophies the school has.
One from 1922. There's the 1983 trophy that I won as a player.
Like, I don't know a single trophy, if any trophies my school had. I don't even know if it had a trophy. Like, even the fingerprint scanners didn't work in my school. Like, my school just had nothing of worth. It's just such a huge cultural difference we see instantly in this series that people in America are really proud of their school. Like, you know, the football games that the school has, all of the town goes to watch them and support them. It's like generations of people that went to this school. Whereas in the UK, you just don't get that. Like, somebody that goes to, I don't know, like a college in London, thousands of people aren't going to go and watch their football game there because, like, no one really cares, you know? People's parents wouldn't even go and watch them play there. People just aren't as proud of the schools and stuff they went to in the UK as they are in America, and it's just so interesting to see this comparison side by side. It's so interesting. I always remember when I was 16, I had the opportunity to go to a university called Santa Barbara in America on like a football scholarship, but I didn't have the money to like actually pay for it because you had to like pay it up front. But they were showing me videos of it and being like, oh yeah, like we get like 10,000 people at the game, you're going to play in front of that many people. And I was like, what? Like, that's just not a thing here. By the way, that story was such a, I could have been a pro if it wasn't for me dodgy knee injury. I could have, if it wasn't for this, right? I would have been up there with Jack Grealish right now. We then get an interview with Sharon, who is a UK student in America, and she says that she gets bullied back home, and because of all of the stress of getting bullied, she actually develops psoriasis. And the reason that I wanted to highlight this was this happened to me, like, because of the stresses of school and because of the stresses that I was dealing with when I was in school. I've made a whole video basically talking about it if you do want to go and watch it after this one. But I developed like really serious psoriasis because of this, and I just wanted to highlight this because I know a lot of people kind of, you know, develop psoriasis at a young age, and I didn't know anybody else that had it. So even just seeing her talk about like how she developed this kind of weirdly brought us comfort in a way, knowing that other people have been through some of the shit that I have. Because it's really not nice and it really takes over your life. Like, still every single day when I get out of the bath or the shower, I have to lather up in cream and just sit there for 10 minutes. Like, every day that's part of my routine from head to toe. Otherwise I just look like a Domino's pepperoni pizza. But on the note of Sharon's story, I'm unsure what the stresses of moving to America for the next 3 weeks is going to do for her psoriasis. However, it might actually help it if she's getting away from the bullying and the stresses of that. And instantly, when she's had a couple of lessons in America, she says it's so much better than the UK. She feels like she's getting judged a lot less.
Yes, we're staying. Yes, we're staying. Okay.
People here are a lot nicer than they would be in the UK.
London is just a bit, yeah, it's a bit pants.
I feel like what she's saying here is like, you get judged a lot more in London than you would where she is now. I don't know why that is, but I feel like she is right saying that. Like in the UK, other people's opinions matter a lot more than what they seem to in America. It just seems like the American school has a lot more of a positive vibe around it. I don't know if that's because a lot of it is centered around team building. Like they plow so much money into sports to kind of bring people together. Like Dijon talks about how when he tried to play basketball back home, he actually got a knife pulled out on him, whereas when he's in America, there's so much funding around basketball that there's so many safe areas for you to just practice.
No mother should have to feel scared that her child can't leave the house up being injured or losing their life.
It is really interesting because people would think that, going to America, you're going to be more unsafe than you are in the UK. But like he says, where he lives in the UK is actually a lot more unsafe than being in the middle of nowhere in America, which is just wild. Jude and Dijon say that they've had such a heartwarming welcome to like their first day in America. However, later on when they go to the football match on the evening, some people aren't as welcoming.
Dijon has been racially abused by a neighbouring school student.
At the time, I didn't really know how to act on it, being as I'm not from here.
Like, obviously, I'm not the person to kind of comment on, receiving racial abuse. Like, I can't even imagine what that's like, but I can imagine how kind of overwhelmed he would feel in that moment. Like, because he's not at home, he's in like a foreign country, so he would just be like, what the fuck is going, like, he would just be stunned, like, I imagine. Especially how there's a lot of talk about weapons and stuff. Like, you don't know if anyone's got a weapon there. If you, like, say something back, is something going to escalate? Like, I can imagine he's overthinking this situation so much more than what he would in the UK, where he'd probably just, like, react how he wants to react. It's just so sad because he's had such a positive experience up to this. But it just begs the question, like, are these people really safe here? Because this is the first day and he's already subject to this abuse. Like, Mr. Thomas, the head of year from the UK school who has travelled to America with the students, every single day when he's on the way to the school, he has to have a police escort. Bearing in mind, the distance is only 3 minutes, okay? That's how long the journey is from where he's staying. 3 minutes and he has to have a police escort. Like, what do they think's gonna happen? Moving on, back to the UK, there is a lot of funny differences that the US students are, like, kind of struggling with. For instance, wearing a uniform. Like, in America, you just wear what you want.
I don't wear a suit or a jacket a lot, so it just feels extremely different to me.
Suit the uniform?
Oh, yeah. I think it would suit the uniform just fine.
Can you imagine being in school and, like, this random kid just turns up in the uniform with a cowboy hat on? You'd be like, oh my god, he is so mysterious, I need to know his name. Just the confidence. It would be intimidating. You'd be like, oh my god, what? He kills snakes and he wears a cowboy hat. Like, who is this guy? Is he straight out of Red Dead Redemption? But again, because of where he's from in America, like, they don't really value other people's, like, opinions as much, so he just kind of does what he wants. A lot of the other US students who have travelled over are kind of taking the piss out of UK schools as well.
The school food there was just horrid. That was some food I wanted to spit out and never eat again in my life.
To be fair, my school dinners were horrific. Like, if you were, like, last for dinner in my school, all that would be left was cheese savoury sandwiches or egg sandwiches. And, personally, just not a big fan of either. Like, why was there not the same choice for the people that were last for dinner as the people that were first? Like, you were getting punished for being last, even though it wasn't your choice to be last. They just went on what year you were in.
I heard that it's the Black Lives Matter month, and so people, what they're serving their cultural food.
Did you see the guy's face on the right? He was like, oh my god, look at these pricks, man. Absolute bellends. He was just like, what am I doing with these, man? One thing that's a running theme with the American students is they keep reiterating that their hometown isn't racist, yet every single clip they use from this town seems to disprove that.
This boy had wrote a note and they were passing it around, and so she yanked it out of his hand, and on the paper it said the N-word.
Yeah, I'd probably say that falls under that category, love, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, that is abuse in my eyes. It's not really a funny joke, is it? It's interesting how these parents haven't, like, pulled their daughter out of this school or even moved to just a different place. A lot of the YouTube comments on this docuseries have, like, said, why hasn't Jayla's family, like, moved away from this city if she constantly keeps getting abused? I wonder if they will after seeing the response to this, especially when Jayla's opening up about it, like, and the effect it has on her.
They're so comfortable. Kids are so comfortable just to run up to her and say N-word, run off.
Jayla actually says that she feels a lot more safe being in the UK because of how diverse it is, and she just feels at home here.
The diversity in London is crazy. Like, I don't feel judged by anyone anymore, and it's awesome. I feel like I can just be me, not the colored kid, you know?
That's so sad that that's the reality of her life when she's living, you know, back home. Obviously, nobody should have to go through that, but like, it just makes it even worse that she's a child and like other children are saying this to her. Like, obviously, these children are learning it from their parents. Like, where else are they getting it from in this little town? And all she wants is just to be treated like everybody else. Like, that's such a basic thing that she wants and she finds so much happiness in. All of the other American students say that Jayla is like really quiet back home, and apparently this is because like of the abuse she receives. Jayla said it's just put her back into her shell. However, since she's been in the UK, she's like really outgoing, she's really funny, and like this is a huge difference in her. And it's simply because she feels a lot more welcomed here and she feels a lot more safe here, which is such a nice thing that the UK can offer her. There's one really sad moment where she rings her mum and says that she doesn't want to come home.
Hey, Mom. I don't really want to leave, Mom. I really want to stay here. I know. It's going to be really, really hard for me to leave.
Like, why did the mom just respond? Yeah, no. Like, that's like a really serious thing she's just said to you there. She's like, look, Mom, I'm not coming back. Like, seriously, I don't want to see you anymore if we're going to be living in the same place. I just hope that Jayla's family have the means to move out of this town because clearly it's not making her or her family happy. All of the American students that have travelled to the UK, like, really comment on how diverse it is and they can't believe it. I don't know if that's because they're just from such, like, a white populated town in America that they're so surprised by this. Or if the UK is just a lot more diverse in general, I have no idea. But I do think it'll be really good for these American students because you're just meeting new people with different experiences to you. I feel like it just makes you like have a better perspective on the world. You're not just meeting people that are exactly like you. And it's like I said earlier on in this video, even though British and American people speak the same language, like we're so different. There's one scene at dinner time where Waylon is bored, so he decides to just climb a tree.
If I feel like talking to you, I'll talk to you all I want to. But at the same point, I like peace and quiet. Now I have a view of West Norwood that ain't nobody got but me.
He's so Southern American. That's so funny. Now I got a view that nobody else has ever seen. I call that success in my book. He sounds like he's off the Shawshank Redemption or something. And I never did see Andy Dufresne ever again. This kid is so funny. He's so nice as well and kind. He's just so Southern American. That's the best way I can describe him. Back in America, you can see why Jayla doesn't want to go back, as a lot of the UK kids are subject to a lot of nasty comments about their race.
I was just walking down the corridor and then two boys next to me, he's like, oh, tell that Emma to go home.
I love that they showed be positive above the door as if, like, you know, somebody that's got that thought to say something horrific in their head is going to look at that and go, oh, actually, there comes a time in a series like this where you've really got to consider, like, are we actually doing more harm than good here? If they're constantly being subjected to comments like this isn't going to develop them as people. It's just going to, you know, hurt them even more. And again, I know I'm not the person to comment on this sort of situation. I'm just trying to kind of see this from the kids' point of views the best I can. At this point, Mr. Thomas really is considering whether it's actually worth being here at all.
And if we were at home, it's a different situation, but we're not at home. And I feel that we have to be careful.
And unfortunately, like, he's kind of right because, you know, they're in a really vulnerable position here. And, you know, it's like, what do you actually do? Because, you know, these people, if they want to, they could, you know, do anything really. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying they've got access to weapons that could literally, you know, do mass destruction. I'm just so glad that these students have Mr. Thomas here because he really is like the protector of them. Like, he is so great, honestly. Like, if they didn't have him there, I would be a lot more worried for them. He's definitely looking out for them. It's just such a great thing that he's came to America with them because when they are really struggling, they go to him and he just really kind of, you know, sets them at ease a little bit. But from his point of view, he must be so stressed because all of these kids are like under his, you know, protection and he really has to kind of sort this out. I just really hope this gets better because the longer we're getting into this series, the more I'm just considering why have they sent the kids here. It seems like it's been a great experience for the American kids and a terrible one for the UK ones so far.
Is known for some crazy things that happened in schools. with young people. So I would not want to push it.
It's just mad that he has to be the logical person here because literally one of his students has faced such horrific abuse, yet he's got to be the one to be like, okay, right, like I've really got to think about this here. I have no idea how they're going to get through the next few weeks if this is the first few days. Mr. Thomas then does go to the head teacher's office and like discusses what's happened, and apparently the head teacher is like really apologetic and is really going to try and make a change, and it satisfies Mr. Thomas enough that they're going to carry on in this experiment. However, the more information Channel 4 gives you about Mina, again, I'm just considering, why are the kids here?
Post-Civil War, towns would advertise themselves as sundown towns. People who were not white were not welcome in town after the sun went down.
All right, wonderful. Well, that's great. Right, I tell you what, should we do like a docu-series on Channel 4 and just like send some kids there? Shall we? That'd be class. Let's be great content that though, wouldn't it? What are we doing here? These are kids we're sending here, kids! Little children! It would be interesting to know if the parents were given all of this background information about this place, because I feel like if they were, they wouldn't have let their own children take part in this. Maybe they would have. I don't know, but I feel like I just can't see a world where a parent would send the child here if they were in danger. It's like later on in this episode, Jayla opens up about how living in Mena, Arkansas has kind of stripped her of her entire personality. And the parents that she's staying with, like, say to her, like, I wish we could just pick up your entire family and just move them here because you seem a lot more happier and safe here. One positive thing that has happened from Jayla opening up is Sayla has actually rang her mum and dad to talk about the conversation that she's just had with Jayla. She just talks about the impact it's had on Jayla growing up, and their parents say that they're going to really try and make a change in the community. So, like, that is only a positive thing. Whether they actually try it or not, that's a different matter. But the fact this is getting discussed on, like, television is a good thing. We then move into episode 2, which takes a turn talking about the differences between mobile phones in a British school and a US one. In the UK school, the students have to hand their phones in before lessons so they don't use them. However, the American principal doesn't agree with this.
I have students who run a business off their phone, or they monitor livestock with their phone.
What, like actual livestock? Sorry, that is wild. What? I thought you meant to play on like Farmville or just The Sims or something. No, they're talking about actual cows here. Just got the CCTV footage. Oh, there we go. Look at that one getting milked. That sounded terrific. That is, The first thing he said, some of them run a business? What, are some of them, like, doing some sort of, like, Amazon FBA drop shipping shit? Someone just on TikTok shop, just like, oh my god, guys, this pencil case. Somebody at TikTok is getting killed for this deal. Just while they're learning about geography or something. I have no idea what businesses these children have. And because of this, apparently, like, American students don't really go on their phones during lessons that much. And it makes us think, like, which kind of method is better? I don't know if because people aren't allowed them in lessons in the UK, maybe they maximise it when they, have the opportunity to, so it almost like kind of makes it more intense when they do have the ability to use their phone. Whereas if they always had access to it, maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know which method is better here. Because when the UK students are in the American lessons, then they're just not listening to the teacher. They're just on their phones because they're just like so thrilled that they can use it in a lesson. And Mr. Thomas notices this. He says that a lot of the American students don't really go on their phones when they're in school. Compared to the UK ones he's brought over, they are constantly on their phone. I also don't know if this is affected by where they're actually filming, like in Arkansas. I imagine it might be a little different to if you live in LA. Other funny differences between the students in the UK versus USA is in the UK, a couple of other students who live there say normally they just go to the corner shop after school and then go home and play Xbox or whatever. Yet Waylon tells them after school he normally goes on a hunt. It's a little bit intense, isn't it? Imagine you've just had like engineering, cooking, PE on the same day, and then you've got to go out and hunt as well. I'd be like, Mum, you can piss off. We're starving tonight, love. Like, imagine telling people in the UK after school they've got to go and hunt for their chicken nuggets and chips. They'd be like, no chance. Not a single chance. Don't know how you'd hunt for chicken nuggets and chips, by the way, as if they're just running away. I don't know why I mentioned chicken nuggets and chips. Shows how much I know about hunting. It is so interesting to see Waylon like interact with people from the UK. He is a really nice lad. However, he does give us little bit serial killer vibes.
See that squirrel?
Yeah.
Be a pretty easy shot on him, Hank.
All right. Well, we're just on the bus. Okay, can we stop talking about murdering squirrels? Okay, you can't do that over here, mate. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. You can't just be like, yeah, I could literally just like chop the head off that squirrel right now. I'm not going to, but I'm just saying I could. Like, imagine sitting in front of this guy on the bus. You'd be like, I'm just gonna get off a few stops earlier. I don't know if this bus is gonna reach its termination place. Just quickly, Donuts, I want to say that we're closing in on 600,000 subscribers. So if you want to be in the before 600,000 subscribers club on this channel, join now. Press subscribe. It's free. Then you're part of the Donuts, the best community on the internet. Come on, I know you want to. Then you've got plenty of videos like this to binge watch when you're bored. Do you need another reason? Go on, do it.
Goal is to hit them in the head, unless you want to eat the brains.
Right. Well, great. Right, lovely chatting with you, mate. Always an intense one. Cheers, fella. They then make Waylon walk through Brixton Market, which, just side note, that was very near where my dog used to go to his vets. I mean, that's not interesting at all. Should I tell that one again? That was a really interesting story again. So basically, like, next to Brixton Market, that's where my dog used to go for his injections. Fucking hell, that was boring. Cheers, Cam. And this is such a cultural shock for him because he's not used to being next to anyone. Like, in his hometown, there's only 5,000 people. There's probably more than that just in this little surrounding area of Brixton.
You're walking down a sidewalk, bunch of cars driving by. You hear screaming and yelling. You hear...
Of course, the local drunk guy is just, you know, fist pumping. Every single town has that one guy. The one that, like, sees you and, like, crosses over the road to talk to you and you're like, oh, no. No, man. Back at Waylon's parents' house where Dijon is staying, he's actually getting taken on his first hunt for the first time. And surprisingly, he actually really enjoys it because he doesn't have a dad back at home. Like, his dad unfortunately passed away. And I feel like he likes the dynamic of having, like, a father figure in his life. Like, him and Waylon's dad are really getting on.
Ring around it, so when it's off safety, that shows.
I don't know if you guys get it. It's like, damn.
Put it in here.
That's such a funny reaction to getting explained how a gun works. I feel like that's how I would react. I'd be like, oh my God, like imagine just seeing like an actual one in real life. Just doesn't happen over here in the UK. I know Americans will be like really surprised at that, but that's just our reality. Dijon then gets to shoot a gun for the first time, and then after this, he's taken straight on the hunt for a squirrel for tea. I'd be like, all right, I really like the experience of shooting a gun, but I don't actually want to kill something. I'm okay. All right, can the squirrel just live? Can the squirrel fight to live another day, please? I don't want to have to do that. I just don't feel like I could kill a squirrel. I even feel bad when I kill an ant, man. Right? I do it and then I start like thinking, oh, well, that had a family. Like, I've just been a prick there. Like that, you know, like his wife is going to be like, oh, like my husband's just not came back tonight. Like he was meant to bring a leaf back and now like he just went for a tin of milk and then not returned, has he? They're going to be blaming the aunt husband, but it was me. Right? He did nothing wrong. He was living an honest living. He had an honest life, just trying to survive for his family. What am I going on about? Stop talking.
Like you missed him.
Well. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. See, I would miss on purpose and be like, oh, guess we're just going to have to go home and starve then. Come on. Rice and beans tonight, people. Obviously, I said that I don't think I'd enjoy this. However, Dijon is like loving it. He's loving this entire experience. Again, it's just mad that he feels safer here with a gun than he does back home. Like, he really doesn't feel safe in London. Back in the UK, a lot of the American students are getting an RE lesson for the first time and learning about other cultures and other religions. They say back home they're not allowed to learn about anyone else apart from themselves, which obviously from their point of view makes them have like a really, you know, kind of tunnel vision perspective. Like, you're not going to know about other people. So I feel like them getting this experience is only a good thing because it just makes you more of like an understanding person. They've also said how they're actually questioning their own beliefs on certain things that have been taught. But I do think it is interesting when they said they're not allowed to learn about other cultures. It's almost like it's being kept from them because the people in this town want everyone to be a certain way. Just very interesting how like a town can kind of control this. Apparently it is controlled by like the parents groups. There's a lot of like mother groups that like really control what the students can learn about in the curriculum. It's so strict in this town. Like, one of the US students says that there's like a list of banned books.
Not allowed at our school at all.
Why? Because it's Stephen King.
Well, it was it, like.
Oh, okay.
And that's like banned.
It?
So.
What, the clown that lives in the drain? That's banned? Bloody hell, you've never lived, love. Never lived. So you're telling me that you walk past a drain and you don't shite yourself? If anything, that's a positive. It's just a clown with a big head, man.
Like, you guys don't have banned books, like, at all? Even throughout the country?
No.
Oh.
That is so interesting that she would just assume that the UK would have this as well. Like, she just thinks this is like normality because it happens in her hometown and she never really leaves. I honestly find this documentary so interesting just because this is actual people's perspectives on the world. You think with social media being a thing, like, people will know about other people's kind of living situations situations and how people live on the other end of the world, but they just don't. Grace says that in her hometown, they're not even allowed to read Harry Potter.
My mom does not let us read or watch Harry Potter. I've read and watched all of them, but yeah, because it's like witchcraft and stuff.
Like, I'm not trying to, take the piss out of, other people's cultures and how they live, but Harry Potter, because of witchcraft. What do you think? Like, Grace is going to walk down the street and start saying Wingardium Leviosa in people's faces and they're going to start floating? It's just so interesting that they're not allowed to read Harry Potter, but they're allowed to hold a gun. Like, realistically, which one's going to cause more harm? No, you're not watching that Dumbledore fella. He freaks us out. No, none of that witchcraft shit. I really want to see a YouTube video of Americans from this town just watching Harry Potter for the first time now and just getting to experience it. This might be the only town in the world where Daniel Radcliffe could go to it and not get recognised. Despite this American town being really strict, Waylon says that he wants to return to it. He says that he's really not enjoying being in the UK because it's just too different to where he's from.
Now, I've always wanted to go to Canada and try to kill a moose. Instead of a bucket list, my bucket list is just animals I want to kill.
Someone needs to just have CCTV footage on this bloke, as he grows up at 24/7, like what they do in Big Brother where they live stream them sleeping, just so we know. All right? Just so we know he's okay. The fact he wants to plan vacations based on which animals he can kill there, probably a little bit of a red flag, not gonna lie. I just don't know if I'd want him round for a cup of tea or anything, I feel like he'd be looking at me dog going, well, I can shoot it there, and then, probably take that home for tea. That'll be quite... I just don't really... To be fair, there's not much meat on my dog. I feel like Cuddy'll be safe.
I told my mom, before I came here, she said, what are you going to do if you just really like it over there and decide to live there? I said, Mom, I'll never live anywhere I can't pee in my own front yard.
Even though he has this weird obsession with killing animals, which isn't great. That aside, he is actually quite sweet. I know they can't really coexist. I realise what I'm saying here. I just feel like he is a total product of his environment and has no outside factors affecting who he is as a person. Why would one factor of if you like a place or not be if you can pee in the front yard? I mean, typically speaking, you can do that pretty much everywhere. It's just frowned upon in a lot of areas, especially if you're on a main road or something, right? You're probably going to make someone have a horrific crash. Could get done for manslaughter, but I mean, technically, you still can do it. I definitely think Waylon is probably getting the least out of this experience as he really just isn't taking a UK life.
But outside of school, I've learned how to, build fence, work cows. That's just going to help me way more than whatever the heck geometry is.
I love that he speaks like a 50-year-old bloke. Pythagoras? Who? How many animals did he kill? None. I don't give a fuck about what he's got to say then. How am I going to get a squirrel in me bag with a protractor? Explain us that one, Mr. Pythagoras. Back in America, the UK students are currently getting punished because they're using their phones too much. Like I previously mentioned, they now have to hand their phones in because they're just taking the piss a bit.
You could go to a party, for example, and if no one's talking to you, you go on your phone to make it look like you're doing something. That's how this generation thinks.
That is so true though. I do that. But why? It's for other people, really. You're thinking, other people are going to think that I'm, alone here. I'll go on my phone so it looks like I'm actually busy. Why? Why? What is wrong with just sitting there staring? I mean, not staring, but, just sitting there, just, bobbing your head or something to the music. Why is that awkward? Because Americans don't find that awkward, but us in the UK do, and I feel like it's because our culture is centred around other people's opinions. People that don't care about other people's opinions kind of stand out over here. Whereas in America, that's it just seems like everybody, especially in this town. The show then moves on to talking about the difference in gun laws between the UK and the US, and it's interesting to hear one of the American teachers talk about it because she couldn't believe that the UK doesn't have any guns in their schools or any policemen, or further yet, any policemen that carry guns. She was just baffled by this, whereas that's our normality. A few of the UK students have said that the Americans have been showing them photos of the guns that they own from back home. It's almost just they take pride in it, it seems, from an outside perspective. It would be interesting to hear some people's opinions from America, just if people that really like guns do take pride in it. 'Cause obviously over here, we just don't have this. Speaking of guns, the family that is taking care of Waylon actually take him outside of London to Kent to go clay pigeon shooting, which is kind of nice because they're trying to like kind of offer him some home comforts, I guess, because he keeps going on about it. And Waylon says that after going to Kent, he actually really likes the UK, and I feel like this kind of suits him more, like being more in the country rather than like in a built-up city. He even experiences some of peak British culture.
That seagull's got a vape.
I gotta take a picture of the seagull vaping.
You see how bad it's got?
Do you know, all we needed was that photo to just sum up the UK. Even a seagull has a Lost Mary. That's literally just the UK culture right now. Just people with the Lost Marys and elf paws. Like, you walk past a smoking area now, it does not smell of smoke. It just smells like fruit. It's wild, the transition that's happened with that. But I am happy that they did take him to Kent, and this has been kind of documented on the show, because a lot of people, especially Americans, when they come over to the UK, they go to London because obviously it's the most iconic. It's got like stuff out of movies, you know, like I understand why they do it. It's the best for tourism, but it's so different to the rest of the UK. Like, I've lived in London and I'm not really a fan of, like, it's not really for me, but living in Newcastle, like, I absolutely love it, just being more in the country, kind of away from things. I really wish on these shows they would show more of the UK rather than just London, because I don't feel like it's a full accurate representation of the entirety of the UK. You never see like all of the mountains and hills in Scotland on these shows. Like, the people from other countries never seem to go there compared to London. And you can tell the family that are looking after Waylon really like him. Like, they've grown to kind of, you know, have a connection with him, and they start crying when they realise that their time with him is nearly up.
Because it's just so special just to see Isaac and Waylon just chilling out on the beach. Yeah, it's nice to see.
And honestly, if I was a parent and like a child from America was like in my care for 3 weeks, I would be really upset because, you know, you're never going to see this person again. You've like grown a connection with them. It must be like even now, this is cringe me getting emotional at this, but I can just imagine what the parents are feeling like. This must just be such like a nice experience, but also a sad one. It must also be quite rewarding for the parents as well, because they get to understand like Waylon's culture as well. We then move into the third and final episode of this series, and this is obviously the final leg of the students being in the foreign country, and the trailer they show for this episode is mad. Like, what's to come later on seems crazy. The running theme throughout this entire episode is homecoming, so the entire thing is building up to the huge homecoming thing that American schools do. For people that don't know, homecoming, you see it a lot in like the American movies. It's basically like an entire week that Americans like celebrate their students. It's meant to just foster like a good school spirit. Again, this sort of stuff just doesn't exist in the UK, so it's so foreign to us. And some of the UK girls are getting a little bit upset because none of the American boys have asked them to homecoming, and they kind of want to have that once-in-a-lifetime experience of going.
Obviously, everybody wants somebody to go with, but everybody won't get the opportunity.
Miss Sophia Wagner.
Wait, is that how it works? Like, if nobody asks you, you can't go. That's humbling. I'd have no chance back in school. Do you realise how much of a loser I was? Oh wait, I would have to be the one that would ask. Oh, no chance. You think I'm going up to a girl in school? Are you mad? Asking her to go out with us? You've got another thing coming. I'd just choose not to go. I'd be like, well, at least it was my choice that I'm not going.
A lot of us think that you're cute and you're so pretty and da-da-da-da. But none of you are doing anything. There's a lot of talking and not enough action.
Yeah. I love you. Well, take us to homecoming then. Right, lot of talk, no action. Less ba, more come with us, okay? This is so cool. I like that she's got the confidence to say this. Yeah, I know you like us, but you're not doing nothing about it to like fix up, mate.
If you think I look nice or I'm cute, then go talk to me.
Yeah, exactly, love. Exactly. Put them in their place.
Oh, say, can you see?
This is just insane to watch as somebody from the UK, seeing all of the lasses like the cool dresses and seeing the guys like dress smart, and then someone is singing the national anthem while this is hanging from a crane. Like, this just doesn't happen in the UK. If it did, nobody would go. People would just feel too embarrassed for some reason. I actually rate it though. Like, I actually like that they're so dramatic with it and just unapologetically just kind of cringe, but also just kind of They just kind of live and breathe this shit.
We can just go together. Exactly. We don't need no boys.
Yeah, right. Fuck men. Who needs men? Just go together, right? Mate date. Have more fun that way. Okay, don't need any stinking boys. Ooh, I want you to be me shorty. Fuck off. Get away. You had your chance. Now's not the time, love. I'm singing the bloody national anthem now. Don't need you, rounders. Somebody that is having a bit more success in America is Jude. He is now on the American football team, and because of this, the other lads from the team are motivating him to ask a certain girl for a number.
The main point is find a woman and ask her to homecoming. You have to have a woman. It's very important. It's imperative.
Like, this is so hilarious that they're treating this like life or death. If you don't get a date to homecoming, then your whole life is over. This is just so hilarious. It's imperative, man. It's the one thing in a guy's life that he can be proud of, man. You gotta have a date to homecoming. I don't know if the equivalent of this in the UK is prom. Like, you know, in the UK, you just don't have a date to prom, do you? Like, I didn't, right? And I was okay. I mean, I was crying, but I was okay. You just don't need to do that unless you like are already in a relationship. You just kind of go with your mates, don't you? Now, Jude is staying with Eli's parents. Eli is an American student who is currently in the UK. He hasn't really had much airtime, so we haven't really discussed him. However, he has recently split up with his girlfriend Natalie the day that he was flying to the UK, and the lads are trying to get Jude to ask out Natalie. So not only is Jude sleeping in Eli's bed, he's also about to steal his girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, should I say.
Natalie was beautiful and good looking. I can admit that.
Okay, take Eli's girl.
Mate, that is cold. Like, and I'm not talking cold like cool. That is just some cold-hearted shit, that. These are Eli's mates. Like, imagine your mates motivating, like, the new kid to steal your ex. You'd be like, what the hell? Like, this is not even funny. Like, you're meant to be my friendship group. Like, this isn't even a joke. This is just cruel. Like, Eli has talked about how he's heartbroken over this, and they're just taking the piss with it.
Stay in with Eli. Take his girl, because she broke up with him.
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah, she all right. Yeah.
Jude? Like, I know this has already been filmed, so you can't take my advice, but I hope you don't do this. Bearing in mind the people you're staying with have multiple guns, Eli owns guns, don't piss anybody off here. You don't need to, okay? Don't succumb to the peer pressure. One thing that is interesting is Jude's mom actually says that he's a really nice lad. However, when he's in a group setting, he really is susceptible to like peer pressure and he'll get bullied into doing things. So this is why he actually is getting bullied and getting motivated to do this. But just for a second, can we just look at this from Eli's perspective? Imagine you get dumped just before you go on the plane to the UK. You return and you see that the person that has been sleeping in your bed in your own house is now going out with your ex-girlfriend who dumped you. Imagine the pain that boy's feeling. I wouldn't want to be Jude when Eli gets home. You better hope that there's no guns in this house. Moving on, the show then returns back to the UK, and it's interesting to see some of the American girls get a taste of like London food culture. Like they go to one of the chicken shops there.
While the exchange has precipitated the breakup of one couple,
6 barbecue wings and chips and 6 wings and chips.
I love that they overlaid Vossi Bop to this by Stormzy. It's the first time any like UK music's been involved, and it's just when a chicken shop comes on.
Okay, we say thank you, boss.
You say thank you, boss.
You guys lying?
No, we promise.
Oh.
That just doesn't sound right from like an American. Oh, thank you, boss man. Thank you. Again, I don't know if this is just London because it's not a thing in Newcastle. Like, we don't really have chicken shops here. But in London, when I lived there, like, that's such a popular place for people to go and eat. One thing I was shocked at in London is you can't get gravy in a fish and chip shop. Like, what? Like, when you get fish and chips, you've got to have mushy peas on. And on top of the mushy peas, you get gravy. And then on top of the gravy, you get curry. And then on top of the curry, actually, maybe to the side, you get a little bit of tartar sauce or tomato sauce, right? You've got about 5 or 6 sauces there. I couldn't get any of that in London. I was fuming. Anyway, it's funny to see the difference in how popular Jayla is in London compared to back home. Like, loads of the UK lads really fancy her.
I saw Jayla walk in and I was like, he's leng. And that means, like, you're pretty.
So Jayla walking, man. I was like, yeah, she's leng, though. Fuck's sake, man.
Oh, it's coming from the bottom of my heart. I genuinely like her. I like her vibe. We both like me and Ease, you know. I like her vibe. She's very chill. I like her.
Bro is just, like, gonna get his heart broken when she moves back. However, Jayla does say that she has a boyfriend back home, so I imagine he's loving watching this back. We do see later on in this episode how this relationship progresses, and Jayla may not have a boyfriend when she returns home. However, Jayla's boyfriend back home isn't on his best behaviour, as Naomi fancies him and them two are kind of flirting. A lot of love in the air, right, in this episode, in this third and final episode. Gonna be a lot of arguments when people return back to where they're from.
I think he's popular. I haven't been here for a long time. I don't know the social status of everyone. So I can't tell if he's cool or not.
I love that she's basing on whether she fancies him or not based on if he's popular. That's such a school thing for someone to do. Yeah, I actually don't know what his Snapchat score is, so I'm not going to like put all my eggs in his basket just yet. Naomi then rings her dad back in the UK to tell her about homecoming and how she possibly could be going with this boy.
So he likes you then? You know how to deal with that, don't you? Just, a firm no.
As you can see here, the dad is clearly very uncomfortable with this happening. He actually starts crying as well, and it does beg the question, like, at this point, do the parents regret letting, their child go across the world where they have no idea what they're doing or how they're doing or if they're safe? I like how they've put these interviews in because we really get to see like the whole kind of perspective on this experiment from the parents' point of view as well. Clearly, they're very stressed here, and I would be too. Speaking of stressed, I have no idea how Jude and Dijon are like coping with this because they have to ask somebody to homecoming in like a country they're not used to, where nobody knows them. Like, how are they meant to achieve this? Like, nobody has the riz for that. However, due to peer pressure, Jude actually does like muster the confidence up to ask Natalie for a phone number. Natalie being Eli's ex, of course.
So what lesson do you have now?
I'm going to art.
Are you like very good at it?
I don't think I'm like great at it.
Can I get a number?
My number?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my god, he's only went and done it. He's only went... How was that successful? Like, the riz he had on show there was like, when someone's in the middle of the street with a leaflet trying to sell you something and they ask you like a few personal questions before they really get into what they want to sell you. That's kind of what that was like there. He's like, oh yeah, you do what? Yeah, Picasso. Yeah, I know all about it. Can I get your number? Is that right? Vincent van Gogh had one ear, I've got two, and I'd love to listen to you on a date. That was off the dome, right? That was... Wow. Taking a minute for that one. I'm actually impressed. That one was you gotta admit that was decent. I'm just worried though, because what happens if she comes to the house you're staying in before homecoming, just to kind of go to homecoming together, and she already knows the parents because that was her ex's parents. She'd be like, yeah, I know the way to your bedroom, don't worry. What I didn't realise as well is the American students are returning from the UK the day before homecoming, which is nice because it means they're not going to miss out on homecoming. Obviously they've been going to this school all the years. They shouldn't miss out on the biggest thing. But this means that Eli and Jude are going to meet in this house, and I don't know how awkward that's going to be. I just would love to be a fly on the wall at that moment. Hopefully they're going to show it. I feel like they will. But whilst all this has been going on, Eli has found out that Jude has asked for Natalie's number somehow. I don't know if the producers have fed them this information for drama.
It's kind of a douche move, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know anything else to like to say about it. At the same time, it's like, I really liked her. She's really nice.
Oh, it's the fact that Eli's actually really nice. He's like, yeah, she's a great person. I just want her to be happy. And like, his mates are just they're just total douchebags, man. Just a bunch of douchebags. Oh, these are not real friends, Eli. I hope after watching this back, you've realised you need to just kind of, change your friendship group, because these are people, these are nasty. These are stabbing you in the back at the first opportunity they've had. This even goes one step further when Jude is peer pressured again to ask Natalie to homecoming, not just for a number, and then she says yes. Now, back in the UK, Jayla is talking about her boyfriend back home in Arkansas. Apparently, like, he wrote her loads of letters for her to read every single day so she can, like, remember him and, like, have some home comforts when she's away. And this is what she says about it.
My boyfriend gave me 21 letters before I left, and I'm supposed to read one every day, but I just forgot about them, to be honest. I guess I'm not really missing him.
He wrote you 21 letters. I imagine, like, you're away for 3 weeks, like 21 days. Like, that's such a nice, cute thing. And you've went, I can't actually be asked to read them, to be honest. He's just wasting his time, if I'm being honest. She's like, yeah, I found something better. Deal with it. I'm not reading your letters. I'm burning them. Oh, actually, me and my new boyfriend are reading them together and laughing at them. Okay. It does just show, though, that in school, like, some relationships you have are just never gonna last, like, once you leave, or, like, once you get, like, you're put into a total different experience, like a college or a university, or travelling to a total new country to go to school there. I know a lot of people do meet their partners in school and they end up, you know, being happily married, and that's, like, such a wonderful thing, but most relationships don't last once you leave school.
I told her I liked her, and then eventually, happy ending.
He just became one of my really, really good friends.
Just friends?
Yeah, just friends.
This is like the plot of Wild Child. What is going on here? She's just found the perfect UK man for her. Just getting worked up here, guys. Apologies.
She likes the way I look a lot, like a lot. She loves my personality.
All right, mate. Calm down. She likes the way I look, you know, a lot. A lot! Okay, obviously. Right, who wouldn't?
When she goes, you're gonna be different.
Yeah, I am.
It's gonna be so annoying.
I love that his mate's just completely honest. He's like, when she leaves, you're going to be distraught, and then I've got to pick up the pieces again, as I always do. I'm always second choice to her. Always second choice to women to you, aren't I? Just so funny to see lads talk like this while they're sitting on a wall just trying to look hard. Yeah, I just don't have to pick up the pieces again, man. Although a lot of the students aren't really worried about hurting, you know, other students' feelings. One person that is worried about hurting someone is Jude. He's like kind of panicking about Eli coming back.
When I realised Eli was coming back for the dance, I was like, yeah, is he gonna care? Is he gonna do something?
Yeah, he's probably not going to be feeling the best, mate. How would you feel? You know, he's probably not going to like welcome you with open arms. Going to welcome you with other arms. I imagine Jude probably thought like, you know, their paths would never cross. Like they'd go home when they're returned, you know, whereas the show's definitely done this to kind of just insinuate a little bit of drama, I guess. Or they might have done it because they want them all to experience homecoming. Maybe let's look at it from a positive viewpoint. I always remember when I was in school and I went on like a school trip with like another school, and then there was like this girl, I was in primary school at this point, there was this girl who I like thought I fancied, and we like spent a week together, and like I never even talked to her and she never even talked to me, but like, you know, we could just tell, you know what I mean? You know, you just know. And then I remember being like upset that I was never going to see them again. I think I'm a freak. I think that I might be a stalker. Anyway, from her point of view, she was definitely like, oh, like, who is this freak that keeps staring at me? The show then moves on to documenting the actual homecoming, and I can't believe how dramatic this is. This is one thing, I guess I'll not regret it, because I just never had the opportunity to do when I was in school. Just for a week, my school had a homecoming like this, because it's so mental.
Homecoming. I started doing that same speech. I've said it for 15 years now, and it gets them hyped up.
Just the way he's talking about it. This is so good.
Went out to hunt. When they came home, they threw a party.
Yes, I did.
Tonight, somebody is trying to come to this house and steal your queen.
Wait, are there? Do we not have security? Wait, who's coming? Why are they trying to steal her? For what reason? Who's coming?
If you lose homecoming, you tend to have a very poor remainder of the semester.
You defend your queen!
Fucking hell, I feel like I could just like fight a bear right now. I feel like I could just go out and just fight like 100 men, 100 gorillas. Come on, bring them on. I don't need any other men with us. I'll fight the gorilla by myself. I'll emotionally manipulate him into giving up. Right? A tactical victory. I love that he's given this motivational speech just for the lads to play a football game and then they just kind of go to a party. This is incredible. Like, I know a lot of people will look at this and call it cringe, but I actually like it. I just think it's way over the top, and it's just funny if you just buy into it. You could just not do this in the UK because people wouldn't cheer. People would just look at you like you're a freak. This just doesn't happen at UK proms or anything at all like this. We just have picky bits and just go to a random hall somewhere. And if there was a football game where the football team were playing at it, nobody would turn up again. Now, before the American kids who are returning back home go to homecoming, they actually meet their parents again for the first time in 3 weeks. I say they meet their parents again, you know, like when they actually came out of one of them. That was the first time they met them. Anyway, idiot. Oh, I know you, right? One time, right? You grew us in your belly, didn't you? And you can tell Waylon is just so happy to be back, like, with home comforts at his parents. And then we finally get to see Eli meet Jude for the first time. Now, I'm thinking that this isn't going to go well. Let's see.
I did talk to Jude about it, Natalie or whatever, and it wasn't like a big deal. Like, we were calm about it.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Oh, what a lovely lad. Oh, well, That's really sweet. He's like, look, man, I don't blame you for that shit. Just my dickhead friends, man. I can tell you're my type of person, right? Me and you are gonna get on well. That's so emotionally mature that he wasn't annoyed at Jude for this. Like, he knows where the blame really lies. That's so nice. Oh, I thought they were gonna have like a fist fight and kind of sort it out and then become friends after, like they do in the movies. And they actually end up being really good mates and kind of talking for quite a while, which is nice to see. The student that is probably the most upset to be returning home is Jayla, because obviously she enjoyed the UK so much. She really felt like she fitted in there, and she really hates being back home.
That's what I want for my birthday. I don't want a sweet 16, no nothing. Just give me to London. It's literally like, I'm already sad. But in London, Mom. Yeah. Like, I fit in. Like, it was amazing.
Obviously, Jayla is, you know, she's half joking, but she's half serious here. Like, I hope that her mom really kind of takes this in and just doesn't take it as a joke. Like, if your child is coming back to you and saying, look, like, I really don't want to live here anymore, like, I've seen what it's actually like to live in a place I feel comfortable, like, I hope they take that on board and actually, you know, seek somewhere else to live, because they don't want Jayla to go back to being quiet and go back to facing abuse on a daily basis. Surely you want your kids to be happy. If you've got the means to move, I really hope they do. The documentary then shows the homecoming game, and one thing that's really nice is the UK girls actually take part in like the cheerleading dance and stuff, so that's like really nice, because that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, especially for a UK girl. It's almost like you are in a movie. Like, it must be so surreal.
I cried 2 times today. I don't want to leave. You know, we've got a lot more judging in the UK, but I'll try and keep that positive energy that I have here.
And you can really tell that she means that. And like I've already discussed a couple of times in this video, I really feel like that's true. Like, Americans just don't care about other people's opinions as much as what we do over here. If people signed up to the school cheerleading team, like, people behind their backs would take the piss out of them. Like, unfortunately, that's just the culture we have over here. We take the piss out of everything. But that's definitely one thing I've took away from this documentary, is just the kind of differences in how people in America kind of just do stuff they enjoy without really caring what anyone thinks about it. Even when they have the homecoming party, all of the UK students are like right in the middle of like everyone dancing. They just seem so a part of the community. Even though a lot of them have had a lot of shit being over here in America, it is nice for them to have this positive moment. One person that is probably the most upset to leave America is Dijon. Like, he has a really strong bond with the dad that he was staying with, and I honestly believe it's because he doesn't really have this father figure at home, unfortunately, anymore. I just feel really bad for Dijon, like, seriously. Like, I just hope that he has it, because he says he doesn't feel safe at home. I hope that he has like a happy life right now. Now, overall, the UK students say that going to America was one of the best experiences of their lives. Even though a few of them were subject to the abuse, they still say overall, like, they enjoyed their time over here. Whereas quite a few of the American students say that they didn't really enjoy being in the UK and they're happy to go home. So it is interesting to see how, you know, overall, out of all of the students, it seems like America's more preferred, which I'm really shocked at, because I feel like, especially the town that they did it with in America, I didn't really predict this at the start. I thought that the UK would win by a landslide. I don't know if the people had to live there full time, if the kind of review would be a lot different. Like, this is more like a holiday rather than a full-time living situation. But I do think 3 weeks is a good time to really get a good gauge if you like a place or not. And yeah, that's the end of the documentary. I did find it fascinating to see how, like, you know, the two cultures combined and how there were so many differences and how they tried to work it out. One thing I was left with thinking after finishing it was, like, what impact will this have on the students' lives? Like, hopefully a positive one, like having this experience of living in a total different place. Surely that's only good for your perspective and just appreciating things back home. I also think it's interesting for people at home to watch it as well, just because you're kind of getting a little bit of the perspective just sitting on your sofa as well. Let me know what you thought about it and if you enjoyed my coverage of it. I've tried to explain it as best as possible and give my viewpoints when I could, even though this one was a more difficult one to do because people are experiencing things I've never been through. But yeah, Donuts, I really do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you want to watch another video from me that is similar to this one, click here, or I've done a video on my Reacts channel where I talk about the differences between Americans and the UK, so go and watch that if you haven't already. Thank you very much, Donuts. I love yous. Alright, that was a little bit cringe. Why'd I say that? Wait, why am I judging myself? Stop judging myself. Be more American.